Hello everyone! Welcome back to AAS Publishing. We're going to continue with our series on publishing in the American Astronomical Society journals, the AAS journals, as an author. And as a reminder, those journals are the APJ, APJ, AJ, APJ Letters, APJ Supplement, Research Notes of the AAS, and the Bulletin of the AAS. So last time we were talking about the peer review process, the opening steps, and what happens with the manuscript, the value added by the statistics editor, by the data editors, as it gets to the lead editor. So the lead editor in one of the corridors that you submitted to then selects one of roughly about 25 scientific editors, which could be the lead editor themselves. The scientific editor chooses the referee, supervises the whole review process, adjudicates any impasses, and makes the final accept or reject decision, and we'll come back to this later in this series. So the scientific editors are usually pretty broad. They're senior people in the field. They've got a broad sense of what the field is. And so they are expected to have a general knowledge of the subject matter, but it is the referee, the chosen referee, who's expected to be an expert in the field. So who do we choose as a referee? If you're an author, you're fair game as a referee. That's the short of it. So if you've published worldwide, you are potentially a referee. When selecting a referee, the scientific editor is seeking a subject matter expert, usually at the post-PhD level. On occasion, I will use the senior graduate student. It's good practice. It's good training for the next generation. Can also be a bank shot to their advisor. You're looking for people who have not previously co-authored papers with the authors. That would be a conflict of interest. Clearly, you don't want somebody at the same institution. That's a clear conflict. If the person down the hall is writing a report for your paper. You also try to choose people who are not known to be mortal enemies of each other. That tends to give a very long, drawn-out peer review process. It always kind of amazes me, right? Let's say in a topic there's like a few dozen experts in the world. In some fields they choose to fight with each other as opposed to working together to make their field better and bigger and wider. But okay, so we try not to choose mortal enemies. And referees are supposed to help in this process. They should reveal conflicts of interest, right? We don't know everybody who's been a graduate student of somebody or a postdoc who's been somebody or a co-author in the not-so-distant past or has a paper upcoming with the co-author, their first one with the co-author. So you do want to reveal those conflicts of interest so that we get a clean peer review, unbiased peer review process. So finding a referee can be challenging for highly specialized manuscripts, right? If there's only about 6 experts in the world, that can be a little challenging to find someone. On the other hand, manuscripts with many authors and many institutions are also challenging. And here you can think of like LIGO papers or cosmic ray papers, ice cube papers, things along these lines. With hundreds to 1,000 authors on it can be a bit challenging to find a peer review. So if you happen not to be able to do a paper or review a paper, then it's usually pretty helpful to the scientific editor if you suggest potential referees that may be able to do it instead of you. The AAS journals, we do keep a data bank on authors and referees, who served as a referee, when, on what topics, how long it took them to submit their reports, and so on. And so although the peer review process does take time, if you're publishing it as an author, you should play both sides of that game. You should be part of the process on both sides. So sometimes people ask, how many papers should I do a year? And I generally say 3-4 a year is pretty good. We do have people on the upper end of the distribution who will do a review every 3 weeks. Every 4 weeks, so they'll get in 12 to 15 reviews a year. They just consider it part of their service to the community, and that's just great. On the other side of that distribution, there are people who will author a paper, but who will never referee a paper. Try not to be in that group. So 3 or 4 per year is usually pretty good. So once it goes out to the referee, our goal is to receive that report within 3 weeks of securing a reviewer. Okay, after 3 weeks after you get a reviewer, please don't confuse this with the 3 weeks from when the submission date of the manuscript occurred. I always love it when I get emails from an author where they have, usually within the hour, it's been 3 weeks since I submitted the paper. Where's my report? Right, it's 3 weeks from when the referee gets it, if the referee is not late, and we generally don't want late referees. So don't be that person who bugs the scientific editor 1 hour after 3 weeks goes by on where's the report. We know, it'll get there. Referees are anonymous by default. If a referee wishes to waive anonymity and the scientific editor agrees, then generally direct correspondence between the authors and the referee is forbidden. The journals have to be in the middle so they can get a clear sense of what is going on with the peer review process. Experience generally shows that the author-referee interaction is usually positive and construction. Let's go back to that 85% acceptance rate. This is what the community wants, is to help improve a paper and help it reach publication. The scientific editor can, and occasionally does, edit the referee report or the author reply, particularly in contentious ones where you're removing things like personal attacks, you want gender neutrality, just general bombast in reports can and will be redacted. That is what I wanted to say on this part of the peer review process, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.